The Conference League playoffs kicked off last night with Chelsea having a 2-0 victory against Servette. I don't know how to pronounce the name. So this team is actually a team that is actually eyeing for that Conference League position. And this was another opportunity for Maresca to see if his tactics are being embedded at the team. So was the game between Chelsea and Servette a walk in the park for Chelsea? Majority of the people who watched the game concluded that Chelsea performed very, very poor in the first half, and actually that created some grueling and some kind of discontent amongst the fans who managed to actually travel to Stamford Bridge to watch that game. So where did this team actually manage to create problems for Chelsea? Now, Philip Jorgensen was actually voted as the man of the match in this game, making incredible saves, and his passing and distribution from the back was also quite exemplary. So why? If Chelsea managed to have a clean sheet and managed to dominate possession, why did Chelsea also concede chances in this game? And why did Chelsea not manage to score more goals against this team? That is what we are going to try and answer in our video today. So looking at it, you can realize that this team actually created some kind of problematic situations for Chelsea, especially during build-up. But we also got to saw Joao Felix, who has actually come to Chelsea and is actually looking to come in and try and improve that Chelsea attack. This is also after the reports that Raheem Sterling has been sent off the team together with Ben Chilwell. And we're going to look at the position that Felix can actually play in this Chelsea team. Now, Enzo Maresca is actually facing his first tactical battle. And this is something that I did a video at explaining to you how Enzo Maresca is actually going to struggle at Chelsea. Not that he's a tactical novice, no, but because the system he uses, teams have come up with ways to stop it. Now, before we even do that analysis, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. So Chelsea usually try to build from the back, and this is by having their two center-backs dropping on either side of the goalkeeper, with one center-back starting out wide. Now, this kind of system is to actually draw a lot of players high up to press Chelsea so that Chelsea can be able to create spaces in midfield as well as higher up the pitch so that they can be able to play through the opponent. Now, the opponent, Servette, actually managed to press Chelsea aggressively high initially in the initial parts of the game. And Chelsea actually enjoyed this kind of press because, as I have noted to you, Chelsea like to draw players to press them high so that they can create spaces higher up the pitch and create situations where they're able to score. The role of Viega was very important in this game because from the left-back position, he will invert from that left-back position into midfield to form that double pivot and allowing Chelsea to create that 3-2 build-up by having three players at the back to outnumber the opposition two pressing players and to have a double pivot that is staggered so that they're able to play through the first phase of the ball. You can see from this clip here, Viega is actually moving from the left back position as he's transitioning into that midfield position. That is one key tactical philosophy that Enzo Maresca wants to instill at Chelsea. And you can clearly see that this position now, Viega is actually the one playing as the holding midfielder. Remember, Viega is actually a player who's played as a defensive midfielder, and that's why he understands that position quite well, allowing Caicedo to play slightly up. Now, Viega playing at this position, his main aim was to receive the ball and look to distribute the ball forward. And because Chelsea always managed to play from the back against this team decided to either push one of their wingers to cover a centre-back and try to sit on Viega and try to press the goalkeeper on the ball. But this also opened another avenue for Chelsea because Chelsea are now looking to play from the back and they're actually looking so good in this. With Jorgensen being a ball-playing centre-back to pick Dewsbury Hall, who would shift towards the left-hand side in the left-back position or the left wing-back position to receive the ball and look to drive with the ball forward, looking to play in McHugh or Mykhailo Mudryk in that position. And when Dewsbury Hall would receive the ball in this position, he would look to drive with the ball forward so that he could create that 2v1 overload against the fullback and look to try and play that ball to Mykhailo Mudryk. And this is something that we've seen even Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne looking to do at Manchester City. Now, this made Servette not to look to try and press Chelsea aggressively high, but rather to drop deep into a mid-block and try to restrict Chelsea from playing. And this is where we actually get to notice why the Chelsea fans really got so angry with the Chelsea building up from the back. But it's not that the team did not want to break this team. It is because Servette was an organized team. Do not just look down onto these teams that are in the Conference League and think it's a walk in the park. Now, Servette employed a system that actually limited Maurizio Pochettino created against Pep. Understanding that Maresca likes to build with the 3 at the back, 2 holding midfielders and 2 twin 10s in those half-space regions, made Servette have to adapt. The position of their 2 front players and their wingers was narrow. They played in a line of 4 that was narrow, creating a form of shield that separates Chelsea's backline and midfield. So, rather than the wingers starting deep in a 4-4-2 and allowing Chelsea to have that 3-2 structure where they could manipulate the ball and find the 2 double pivots, they did not want to give this time and space. And because Chelsea want to create that box-shaped midfield to outnumber them, they knew that they had a way of doing this. So they decided to drop 2 of their forwards to cover the Chelsea double pivot and have their wingers play narrow so that they could create that line of 4. This line of 4 is something that Manchester United has also built against Manchester City. They successfully managed to beat Manchester City in the FA Cup using this strategy. Now, this strategy ensured they played in a 4-4, something that Pochettino created, and I've done videos on this. So when they played in this 4-4 narrow block, they ensured they restricted Chelsea from penetrating the middle of the pitch. And this now forced Chelsea to use the wide areas. And that's why in the first half, a lot of players who used to receive the ball were players like Mikhailo Mudryk. But he was unable to actually do anything because it heavily relies on the wingers. The wide centre-backs were also being pressed because once they received the ball, the wingers would already step out to press them. Now, this made the back 3 so ineffective and constantly under pressure, and the 2 players in the half space also looking to be covered. And even sometimes when the centre-backs managed to switch the ball onto the wingers, when the wingers received the ball, they will receive the ball when it is bouncing, and this will just force them to play the ball backwards because it is good if they receive the ball on their feet rather than to receive the ball when it's high up. And Maresca decided to spread his wide centre-backs wide to give his team width and also to have that ability to control the wide areas because now Chelsea wanted to have numerical advantages wide because you see this 4-4 mid block was difficult, so Chelsea had to rely upon their wide centre backs, their midfielders who are the 2 twin 10s, especially Nkunku who looked to drift out wide to receive the ball in those wide areas, and their wingers. Now you can even see now here the position of Chelsea's wide centre backs is different. They are now starting wider. They're almost playing as fullbacks with only 1 centre back at the back. And this is a tactical adjustment that Maresca made at half time. Now because they started to play this wide play, they started to dominate the game, and actually we saw Chelsea in the second half looking more dangerous because now they were able to play around that 4-4 block, and we saw Nkunku receiving the ball and looking to run towards the fullback, and sometimes he would find himself in a position where he would play Pedro Neto. And even this made the opposition make to shift on either side, and as they shifted on either side, they allowed crossfield passes and diagonal passes onto the far side wingers. And sometimes Nkunku would receive the ball, and this is where Chelsea faced danger. Because of their centre-backs being wide, there was always space between the central centre-back and the wide centre-backs. And the opponent used to play those balls in those spaces and those channels, and this is why Chelsea actually looked so vulnerable in the counter, complemented with lack of quality because Badiashile and Disasi were not quite good in defending 1v1 situations compared to players like Fofana and Colwill. Now, Maresca had to adapt again, and this is by using his double pivots and his central most centre backs. Now, the double pivot were being told to move in a way that they will drag that front line deeper to allow the central centre back space to dictate the tempo of the game. And this is why you need a central center back who's very good on the ball. And because they will drag these two front players deeper to cover them, because they were playing in a man-to-man approach, then Tosin had the space to actually carry the ball forward and play as a number 6. Now, rather than playing as a sweeper center back, he played as a deep lying playmaker, looking to play those balls in the wide areas, especially for players like Dewsbury Hall, Fernandez, and Nkunku. You can see from this clip here, you can see the position of Badiashile and Disasi. They are playing wide of Tosin and in slightly deeper position, and Tosin is actually carrying the ball, looking to bait a press so that he can play those quick diagonal passes. Here again, Tosin is on the ball. He's not under pressure because the two players are looking to cover the two central pivots for Chelsea. And if they leave to press Tosin, then one pivot will be free. So they decide to sit on the pivot, allowing Tosin space. And actually, this is how Chelsea managed to break down Servette in the second half. Because now Tosin has the ball. He's not under pressure. Nobody's pressuring him. He manages to carry the ball high up, playing almost like a midfielder. And now he can spot a pass. He sees Nkunku, plays the ball onto Nkunku, and look at Servette's back four. The back four has just been, he's lying on the other side, and now Nkunku is able to receive the ball, and Pedro Neto is also on the other side, so he's able to create that overload. So Nkunku is able to receive the ball in this position without any pressure, and once he receives the ball into this position without any pressure, he's able to play in the winger in that kind of zone. Now, because of this, you realize that Chelsea actually had numerical advantages and managed to come up with a way of breaking that 4-2-4 structure. The 4-2-4 structure is a structure that limits the box-shaped midfield. That's why Guardiola, in his last game against Chelsea, he actually shifted Manchester City in a 3-1-3 structure. He created a diamond. The diamond was to mitigate that 4-2-4 structure that I keep on telling you. And Enzo Maresca can either break that 4-2-4 structure in two ways. Number one, make tactical adjustments to his team and ensure that his team has numerical advantages by either shifting to a diamond or looking to shift into a 3, or looking to have to shift in a back 4 and attack the wide areas. Those are 3 options. And then that is the first option. Number 2 is to improve the overall quality. This means that the players need to be so good and neat on the ball so that their combination play as well as their intricate passing is excellent and to perfection, and therefore they will be able to play through that man-marking system. That's the only way you play through a man-marking system. The players should also improve their quality in dribbling and being able to beat their player who's pressing them in 1v1 situations so that they are able to generate that strength in midfield as well as in the attacking area, something that Manchester City do, especially with Bernardo Silva and Rodri, who are good to use their physicality and their dribbling to beat these kinds of system. Enzo Maresca also emphasized later on in the game that he was happy with Chelsea, the way Chelsea managed the game at the end. Remember, Enzo Maresca is actually even coaching Chelsea on how to manage the game. That's why in the latter stages of the game, Chelsea just look to pass the ball around and dominate possession, because he wants to create that semblance that Manchester City like to do. You know, Manchester City, once they have beaten a team, they like sometimes to take away the ball and look to just possess the ball. You just possess the ball until you make sure you wear down the opponent, kill any scintilla of hope that the opponent has, and ensure you effectively dominate that game. So in my opinion, I was happy with the performance. I know a lot of fans will expect a free-flowing attacking, free-flowing football with a lot of goals, with a lot of chances, but the main aim that Chelsea are trying to attain at this point is the ability to control games. And the match-going fans need to understand that that is how Maresca is going to play. So if you've enjoyed this tactical analysis, do not forget to like, share and subscribe, share this video, and help us reach to 10,000 subscribers. And I really appreciate your contributions. You can leave your comment section in the comment section area below on whatever you want us to look at. The next video will be analyzing Joao Felix. Thanks for watching, and see you again in the next video.